Welcome back, fashionistas, to another video. Today, we're uncovering the story of Madame Coco Chanel. You might have heard the name before, maybe through a perfume ad, looking at a luxury bag, or the iconic interlocking C logo. It's a name that's often linked to elegance, timelessness, and high fashion. But behind all of that, behind the glitz and the glamour, the branding, is a real person, a woman who built an empire in a world dominated by men. Because when you look at most of the iconic fashion houses like Versace, YSL, Balenciaga, they were all founded by men. But Chanel was created by a woman. And not just any woman. Chanel was founded by a woman who came from nothing and changed everything. So her story isn't just about like fashion or clothes or fragrances. Her story is about reinvention, survival, war, and yes, controversy. And we're gonna talk all about it, so stay tuned. Coco Chanel, whose real name was Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel, was born in 1883 in a small town in France called Saumur. Her childhood was far from luxurious. After her mother died, her father abandoned her and she was raised in a Catholic orphanage, where discipline was strict and life was simple. That's where she learned how to sew, a skill that would quietly lay the foundation for her future. In 1910, she opened a small boutique, and she didn't start with clothing. She began by designing hats. Elegant, minimal, and ahead of their time, her designs stood out, and she didn't stop there. Coco Chanel moved into women's clothing, but what made her different was the materials she used. She started designing with jersey fabric, which back then was considered inexpensive and only used for men's undergarments. But Chanel turned it into something refined. She made clothing that was comfortable, chic, and easy to wear. Then came her introduction of sportswear for women, a bold move at the time when women were still expected to wear corsets and dress for decoration and not for movement. I mean, there's a quote that she said, luxury must be comfortable, otherwise it is not luxury. Her designs allowed women to move, to breathe, and to live. She wasn't just designing outfits, she was redefining how women saw themselves and how they showed up in the world. That is pretty powerful to me. So, let's talk about Chanel number 5 and the global success as part of her story. In 1921, she released what became one of the most iconic perfumes in the world today, Chanel number 5. It was modern, abstract, and completely different from the sweet, flowery scents that were popular at the time. The number 5 was her favorite, and she believed it brought her luck. That's why she chose to name her perfume number 5. And the minimalist bottle design reflected her love for simplicity. The perfume was a massive success, and with it, Chanel became more than just a designer, she became a brand. Her influence spread across France and soon around the world. While her brand was rising, the world was also changing, and then came World War II. Now, without going too deep, the Nazis were a political group that took control of parts of Europe, including France. They created laws that discriminated against Jewish people, stripping them from their rights and businesses. During this time, Chanel closed her fashion house and stayed at a hotel in Paris, where Nazi officials were known to stay. She developed a close relationship with one of them and years later, declassified documents revealed that she had worked with the Nazis as a possible spy. But it kind of gets even darker. Years before the war, Chanel had entered a business deal to help produce and sell Chanel No. 5. She only owned a small portion of the company, and her business partners were Jewish. So during the war, she tried to use Nazi laws to take back full control of the perfume company, using their religion as a reason to push them out. But they had already taken legal steps before the war to protect the business, so her attempt failed. So it's a bit controversial how her associations to the Nazi may have in some way led her to get more ahead in her business. But yeah, I mean, after the war, Chanel was questioned but never officially charged. This part of her story still makes people uncomfortable, and rightfully so, because we don't really know her reasons. But yeah, can we really separate, the designer from their reputation? In 1954, at 71 years old, she made a comeback. She reopened her fashion house at the time when tight waists and corsets were coming back into style, and once again pushed for comfort, simplicity, and power dressing. And decades later, the brand would be taken over by Karl Lagerfeld, who turned it into a modern empire we know today. So yes, Coco Chanel changed fashion. She broke the rules, she built a legacy, but also made some dark decisions that still spark debate today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves fashion history. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't